Everybody, happy Thirsty Thursday here. We are officially live at our FTN Network YouTube page. Chris Meaney here with you. Appreciate the patience, guys. It took a little bit to get going here, but like I said, we are officially underway, and I am riding solo with you again. Hopefully my guy EY can join me next week. We try to line up a guest or so, but I wanted to just dive into it solo. 11 games on the ice tonight in the NHL. We're going to walk through these games, talk about a couple of predictions and sides and totals. We got some shot props. We got some player props. We got some fantasy hockey talk. We're going to answer any of your questions that you guys have here on the show. And I had this jersey lined up for EY. You know, he gave me the site. This is it. How about this jersey, though, honestly? Look at this thing. It's got the C. Oh, on this side, Korea, Paul Korea. Man, this brings me back. Does bring you guys back to your childhood days? This Mighty Ducks, the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, bring them back. Let's go. They are on the slate tonight. Zegras and company taking on the Boston Bruins, yet to lose a hockey game. If you are just new to the show, welcome in. We appreciate the support. Watching live on our YouTube page, smash that like button. You're listening on iTunes and Spotify. Please rate, review, subscribe. We're going to say what up to the crew here in a little bit. It's been a fun week. It doesn't always go this way. We always hold ourselves accountable. We try to address things that went wrong, where we can fix them, and things that have gone right. And it has been a really solid week. On Tuesday's episode, I think we hammered home some winners, right? We had a 28 unit day over at ftnbets.com. Have a free article on Tuesdays and Thursdays over at ftnbets.com. Link inside the description of this video when it is officially live. Submitted it a little bit ago, and it should be up in a little bit. It not getting a lot of sleep. I mean, the Hammerhead Union says I'm in the shower. I didn't even have time to shower. And look at me. Like, I look like a guy who showered. But we're here for some NHL picks here today. But 13 for 13 in that article on Tuesday. Give 3 picks with a couple bonus plays, and then last night 4-0. So we did have a little bit of luck that has gone our way. Like last night, we hit a 6-1 same game parlay. We needed an Ovechkin goal there at the end, the shot, and Jack Hughes. And the other night we had Florida, on the puck line. They scored the second left. We had some things that finally broke our way, and we'll take it. There's going to be some highs. There's going to be some lows. ftnbets.com/pricing. If you're looking for the package, a lot of people have reached out to me. How do I get the hockey picks every day? We'll give them live on this show on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We will have the article on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And really, the FTN betting package. On Mean Streets, I'll give a couple hockey plays on the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday when I don't have Dangle, Celly here. But if you're looking for picks like every single day, weekend, Kenneth Lee's giving picks as well. We got a few guys giving some hockey picks over at ftnbets.com. ftnbets.com/pricing. Use that promo code Meaney. Save yourself a little bit of cash. You will get picks across all sports from everybody. October, right? Week 8 here in the NFL season. The NBA tipped off last night with Luka Doncic triple-double at 8-1. So all picks, all sports, college sports happening. Still World Series, getting underway this weekend as well. How about the World Series? I know this is a hockey show, but come on. I'm here for upsets, and I love those storylines. And Arizona and Texas were two of the worst teams in baseball just a couple of years ago, 100 lost teams. Right? I think 151 for the Diamondbacks to win the World Series when the MLB season started, and Texas had 50-1, I believe. And yeah, I mean, Texas spent a bunch of money, whatever. There's a lot of teams that spent a bunch of money that don't get to this point. And Arizona being the worst team in baseball just a couple of seasons ago and getting here to the World Series is really, really cool. So we're going to get after tonight. We'll talk some hockey here. I want to say what up to the crew, as we usually do here. Troy's in the house. Wager offer. If Montreal wins tonight, I will bring you and EY to one Islanders game this season. Oh, wow. On Long Island. Holy crap. If Columbus wins, I will be a short notice replacement as DBC co-host next time one of you missed the show. Deal? I like it. Sure. Why not? Let's do it. The Canadians and the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight. We can start there in just a moment. There's a lot of props that I like from that hockey game, but that's a fun one, Troy. We could definitely like to have you on as a guest. You could talk up your Blue Jackets there. Habs and Blue Jackets happening this evening. Looking forward to the trip to Long Island. Brazis 91 in the house. Welcome in. We got Troy here talking about the Blue Jackets. Yeah, I mean, we could see Wi-Fi drop the gloves tonight against your boy. It's possible. Wi-Fi is He's a tough cookie, man. Diehard MMA podcast in here. Good morning, DBC. Let's go. I love that we have big NHL slates for a few days in a row instead of 1 or 2 games a night. Well, Tuesday. That's why we do the show here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because it is usually some just a huge slates on both days. You know, the frenzy was fun. The Frozen Frenzy, that was cool. I liked it. I enjoyed it. 16 games. I thought the ESPN crew did a really good job. It was entertaining. We had over 100 goals scored. 10 road teams won. It was it was a lot of fun to win some cash, of course, but it was really cool. And now I'd like to see them get to a more balanced slate personally, like the one game on Monday and Wednesday and a couple on Friday. I'd like to get balance that out just a touch, but here we are. Morning, Richard. Welcome in. Adam Szymanski, what's going on, man? Your Flyers playing pretty good hockey. Continue to ride Cam Atkinson there. Heyo, Alan in the house. Welcome in. Hammerhead Union, Columbus Ducks draw. Ryan Johansson, power play point, looking like solid bets today. Yeah, he's been really, really good. And something that we talked about in our NHL Discord channels, the Islanders, and I'll get into them in a little bit, but they're not the same stingy Islanders squad that we're used to seeing. They've given up the most scoring chances at 5-5 per 60. They're inside the top 10 in shot attempts and shots allowed. I mean, Sorokin is awesome, but a couple things we talked about: the Avs being the highest scoring team on the slate on Tuesday at 28-1. I know a couple people had that one, and it's just, I think books they're going to be, because Sorokin, right? And teams aren't going to want to stack against Sorokin in DFS. Colorado checked in the big three. I had them in one of my lineups. Unfortunately, I didn't have the other pieces, but they were all like in a single entry. They were like 1.2% owned, all of them. Makar, Rantanen, and Nathan McKinnon. And Ryan Johansson on that top power play checked in at, I think, 3.6 on DraftKings as well. He's looking really good. And the thing with the Avs last year, I just didn't feel like they replaced Nazem Kadri down the middle of the ice. I didn't think Comfort and Newhook were good enough, and now those guys are gone. They got a veteran presence there in Ryan Johansson. I don't think he's going to have the same type of season Kadri did a couple years ago, but he looks great. They've kind of like shuffled their lines a little bit with Lehkonen and Nichushkin up on that top line, a little bit more balanced in their top six with Mikko Rantanen, who, again, I think we talked about it on the show on Tuesday. Mikko Rantanen was plus 170, plus 175 for 2 points, where Nathan McKinnon was minus 125. And I know they're split up now at 5-5, but there's still a little bit of correlation there with those two players, especially on the power play. And Mikko is checking in again tonight at a pretty good price. I think we have him in the tracker for 2 points at plus 170. But Johansson's a guy that certainly should be owned in season-long leagues, considered for a point, considered for a power play point as well. We've talked about a couple of those things here on the show. There's definitely some edges when it comes to power play points. Shot props are juiced. We've had to adjust a little bit. There's a few guys that I like tonight, but I've been diving into some point props, some assist props, some power play props, maybe half a unit on these power play props. Zach Werenski checks boxes for me today. Dougie Hamilton, we just missed, I think, by a second. We had him for a power play point at around I think it was plus 450, plus 460 for Dougie Hamilton to have a power play point. It looked like he had it. They took it away, but it's important, I think, to keep an eye on these teams that take a lot of penalties, and the Canadians are one of those teams. And I do like the call there, Szymanski, for Mr. Ryan Johansson. Point goal tonight, bet the house. Definitely like Braden Point as well. There is the Meaney in the shower. Unfortunately, no, I'm rigging up the joint here today. EY hits the 8 leg tonight. I'm calling. Unfortunately, no EY tonight, but I would assume he would be really close on hitting that 8 leg as well. 3 cups of coffee. Okay, we're going to get going here. I want to say what up to the crew. I always want to say what up to the crew. So just be patient. If you're new to the show, welcome in. Smash that like button. Any questions, we can leave them here. And if you're watching the replay and you have a fantasy hockey question about your squad, you can leave them in the comment section as well. You can reach out at Chris Meaney on the Twitter machine, the X machine, or you could email at meanstreetsftn@gmail.com. Just kind of get my my bearings here with the comments and some of the messages. So yeah, at Chris Meaney there in the bottom of the screen. We'll have a free fantasy hockey article on Sunday, like we do every single Sunday, breaking down the week, looking at 4-game streams, attacking the schedule, who to buy, who to sell, who to drop, all those good things. I think there was a question here. What do we go? So Emmerich, welcome in. Yes, Paul Correa, let's go. Seth, I was hoping EY would be here, wondering if he still thinks Ovechkin has a shot. He thinks Ovechkin is shot. He thinks he's dust. I don't think that he is. I think the Capitals are kind of dust. Great game from them last night. I thought back-to-back games they played good against the Leafs. A little bit unlucky there, and last night they pulled off the victory. Guys like Ovechkin and Kuznetsov, or not Ovechkin. I really like Strome with Ovechkin. I think he's their best center. He's younger. He's got legs. It's working. The past couple games, like 3 games in a row, I think they put those two guys together. Ovechkin has a couple goals. Strome has a couple goals. They're really clicking. It's Backstrom and it's Oshie and it's Kuznetsov, who I think are a little bit toast at the moment. But let's not freak out about Ovechkin. He was a buy low candidate for me in the article. He had 14 shots the other night. He's still going to shoot like a psycho. He didn't score a goal in the first 3 games last year and still ended up with 40. I would say he hits the 30 goal mark, and you know that he's going to be pressing to get closer and closer to Wayne Gretzky, and those empty net goals are going to happen. John Prince in the house, Meaney Shot Prop King. You've been killing it with the sides. Look forward to today's games. Bring it home, Meaney. Great call on Toffoli. Yeah, appreciate that. We had Toffoli as a hat trick in the Discord channel, and somehow he scored a hat trick. It was partly revenge and also the matchup against the Habs, but also like it may be the best line in the NHL this year. I would say it's going to be a top 5 line in the NHL. Toffoli, Timo Meier, and Jack Hughes. And Lindy Ruff may split these guys up, but it doesn't matter. Like wherever Jack Hughes is playing, he's going to make everybody around him better. But Toffoli is just a sniper, man. He scores everywhere he plays. Career high in goals last year. He scores goals all over the place. He is the man. Like he is awesome. Can we not talk about it still hurting over the Phillies? Yeah, I know. Man, that was rough to see. You never know World Series, right? Arizona only cares about the sun. AZ only cares about the sun. You'd never know that there's a World Series here in Arizona. That's from Richard there. Okay, we're going to get going here. Love the AC/DC album in the background. Yes, we're cooking here with some classic rock. Used to work at a classic rock station, so I got a ton of old school records. I could see Toffoli. I was thinking about it last night, 40, 45. 55 may be a stretch, but I could see it. Let's get after it. We've been 12 minutes in. Ewa's not even here to banter with me and tell me that Ovechkin sucks. So we'll just get into a little quick look at the slate. This is from FTNBets.com. And, we have a couple things cut off. George made this for us, but a cool feature. If you just look at, if you're over at FTNBets.com, you see up at the top, you'll see betting odds, game odds. You can go to NHL, and then it'll show all the games. You can tag, you can go through spread, over, under, and it will actually show all the books like Bet365, DK, FanDuel, BetMGM, PointsBet, our friends here, Caesars, Unibet, Bet Rivers. And it'll show all the odds. For example, like the Ducks. If you want to back the Ducks on the money line tonight, it'll highlight the best possible odds. There's a lot of 240s plus 225 over at FanDuel. But you want to get the best odds, and you don't have a lot of time to be surfing around and finding those odds. We want to help you guys as much as we can and save you a little bit of time and get the best possible number. And DraftKings and Bet365 as well as BetMGM hanging plus 260. It's tough to go against the Bruins at the moment. We talked about them regressing here on this show, and we've seen nothing but just the same as what we saw last year. They're 6-0 to start the season. They've only scored 19 goals in those 6 games, but they've only allowed 7. And, they haven't, let's be honest, like they haven't played the best opponents, but this is a trend that's continuing here tonight with the Ducks on the schedule. I mean, they've already played the Ducks this season. We talked about Pavel Zacha in the last game up in that top line with Marchand and with David Pastrnak. I mean, Pasternak's always a play for me, pretty much. Like he's 4.5 all the time. But if he's anywhere under minus 140, I'll jump on it. And that's the case here. Minus 130 over at BetMGM. Bet Rivers is hanging minus 162. He's plus 100 for an assist. Pastrnak. So, Marchand, that top line. Again, they haven't played anyone good. Chicago, Nashville, San Jose. They played LA. I guess they're a good team. Anaheim and Chicago. So, like, they played the Blackhawks twice. They played the Sharks. They played the Preds, and they're playing the Ducks here again. They get Detroit, Florida, and Toronto. A little lengthy home schedule here. Something that I say a lot is be careful of a team favorite at home against another team that's considerably worse, or it doesn't even have to be worse after a lengthy road trip. in San Jose, in LA, in Anaheim the next night, in Chicago. So the 4-game swing coming back home. I mean, the Bruins have been one of the better home teams in the NHL for several years here. So I think they'll be fine. I do believe that they will regress at some point here in the regular season. I ended up having them in as a wild card squad. I do think that they'll squeak in. They probably win this game tonight. I have a lean to the under. I don't think we'll see a lot of offense from the Anaheim side of things. I could see, even with the Boston Bruins, like 3-1, 3-2, 3-1, 4-2, 3-1, 3-0. There's a trend here. They're not scoring. They're not giving anything up, and unders are hitting in their game. So I would consider the under again tonight. Give you guys the best possible number, -110 over at BetMGM. And that is under 6 there for tonight. I think past the scores, I think Zaka hits the score sheet. Zaka had the goal the other night, but most of his points are going to come via an assist. You get plus money on Pavel Zaka to hit the score sheet. Anybody else feeling upset? Anybody else feeling the Ducks tonight? I mean, I'm wearing the jersey. I think if there's an upset tonight, it may be this one. It's just really tough to put our hard-earned bucks down on Anaheim, but maybe Anaheim puck line tonight. I mean, plus 300, maybe like just 0.25 units or 0.5 units just on the upset here tonight. But past the scores, past the 5 shots, I'd say Zaka assists. Keep your eye on JVR. We had JVR for an assist the other night at plus 300 for him to pick up an assist. So that's a decent one as well, even though the Bruins are not scoring. JVR is checking some boxes here for me. It's hard to keep up with all the comments, but I will try my best here. We're just usually when EY talks, I kind of look at some of the comments and answer some of the questions. Szymanski, Bruins will regress. They still have one legit win this season. Yeah. The schedule has been. It's been a little bit of a joke there. Anyways, I think there's a chance here for Anaheim to pull it off, but it's probably like a 3-2, 3-1 game for the Boston Bruins. So we'll move on from that one. Let's get this Montreal one out of the way, right, Troy? We get the Habs checking in at -115 at the Bell Center and the Columbus Blue Jackets at -104. The Canadians have been playing pretty good. I've been pretty impressed with what I've seen from them so far. They're not one of the teams near the top of the list in terms of allowing shot attempts and high danger chances and scoring chances at 5-5. Like all strengths they are, because they lead the NHL in penalties taken. I think Carolina may have passed them the other day, but the Canadians have been this dates back to, last year. They're just one of the dirtiest teams in the NHL. Their stick work. They take just crazy penalties. And that's why I like some of these Blue Jackets tonight more than normal, I'd say, Troy. But honestly, there's a couple things that I like here. I'm going to start with Matheson, a Canadian here. He's inside the article, the free article. What an end-to-end goal he scored the other night. That's what we talked about in the draft kit. In Matheson, a couple things like in the final 6 weeks of the season, he was 5th in ice time. He was among defensemen. He was top 5 in shot attempts and scoring chances. And it really is about the usage, but you saw an end-to-end goal he had the other night against the Devils. He's -130 for over 2.5 shots here tonight. So far on the season, he's averaging 25 minutes and 40 seconds, which ranks 3rd in the NHL. He's top 26 minutes in 2 of his last 3 games and 3 of his 6 games this season. David Savard is sidelined for the next 6 to 8 weeks. Caden Gooley is out. The Canadians' defense is already really thin. Shout out to Justin Barron, goals in back-to-back games. He's sneaky from a DFS standpoint because some of these Canadians like Harris and like Wi-Fi and Justin Barron, they're just going to, rack up a ton of ice time, block a couple shots, and maybe return value for you. Barron has because he scored a couple goals. But for Matheson, he's got the 20 shots on goal through 6 games. He has at least 3 shots in 4 of his past 5 games. And in 2 of those 3 games, he had 5+ shots. So Matheson over 2.5 shots. That's a really good price at -130. Zach Werenski at over 2.5 shots is -150. I have him in the tracker, I do believe, in a parlay. Werenski, I have Tim Stützle and Zach Werenski at over 2.5 shots at DraftKings at +175. I got Cole Caulfield in the article at over 3.5 shots at -115. It's hit or miss. He's +150 to score a goal at FanDuel. He's minus money everywhere else. Again, prop shop really is your friend. This is a good matchup. I mean, the Blue Jackets, they've surrendered the 5th most shot attempts and the 6th most shots at 5 and 5 per 60. They're still very, very leaky defensively. So they are going to give up a little bit of rubber here tonight. So Cole Caulfield is that hab that I like. Johnny Gaudreau, I put over 3.5 shots last night. I thought that this was a really good number, and I wanted to jump on it. Johnny Hockey at +124 at DraftKings for 3.5 shots. But as of this morning, I'm seeing him at 2.5 at -143 at Bet Rivers. I would drink a little bit of juice on the 2.5 at Bet Rivers, but I really do like the 3.5. I mean, I already bet it myself. I put it in the tracker. Looking at Johnny Hockey, he's got 2 shots in every game, but the last 3 games, 4 shots, 7 shots, 5 shots, and 3 shots. So he's cleared the 2.5 in 4 straight. He's cleared the 3.5 in 3 straight with quick math, 16 shots over that span. And he's playing a lot, 21 minutes, 24 minutes. I mean, he doesn't have a goal yet. He only has 3 helpers. And one of those points came on the power play. So the 5 and 5 production is not, it's not fantastic, but this is a spot where we may see some goals here tonight. We may see a little bit of action. So let's recap here. Matheson over 2.5, Werenski over 2.5, Caulfield over 3.5. I got Johnny Gaudreau in the article at over 2.5 at -143. Don't mind the 3.5 of plus money, but if we can get 3, why not get 3 instead of asking for 4? I don't mind that little bit of juice. I think he gets to that 3. And I got Zach Werenski for a point here tonight. It may come as an assist, but it's good value each way. The assist is +145 at BetMGM at PointsBet, but the point is -105. And then I have him for a power play point at +280. As I said a few times here, the Canadians are, they just take a lot of penalties. They take a lot of penalties. And, guys, you guys are well aware. I got the Go Habs Go. I mean, that's from the 3rd round at the Bell Center against the Rangers. That was a heck of a run. Unfortunately, my guy Price got hurt in game 1. But this is a team I've followed for forever. Don't hold it against me. I watch all their games despite them being just awful. The past 3 years, this has been so hard to watch them play hockey. Like I said, they're playing pretty good. I've really noticed the I don't know what they're calling them. It's like the vet line. It's Sean Monahan and Tanner Pearson and Brendan Gallagher. I think that trio is actually pretty sneaky in DFS. It allows you to spend up elsewhere. If you want to spend up on some big boys in Colorado against Pittsburgh, some lightning against the Sharks here tonight. So there's some teams that are in really good spots. Spending down, Tanner Pearson is somebody we've talked a lot about. We could all laugh about Pearson. He's not going to continue this, but we've talked about him in the DFS circle, 2-5 scoring goals. We talked about him in the article as a streamer. And on Monday, he had 6 shots, 4 hits, and a couple points. One was a power play point, I believe. He is on the second power play as the quarterback on the power play. So, no disrespect to Tanner Pearson, but that's how hard up the Canadians are here. So, Troy, I think the Canadians win the game. Is it confirmed Jake Allen's in the net? As long as it's Jake Allen in the net and nobody else in the net, then I think the Canadians are going to win. And if Montreal wants a top 5 pick, and this is a deep draft, this is deeper. This NHL draft is deeper than last year. Of course, it's not top heavy with Bedard at the very top of it, but it's Montembeault. So, geez. Looks like you're probably going to join the show when we need a guest, because I'm not feeling Montembeault. I think the Canadians need to trade Jake Allen. He'd help a lot of teams out. So I'm off of Montreal. It's that simple for me. Like, Jake Allen is really good, and he is a much better goalie than Montembeault. So the Blue Jackets may squeak this one out, but Matheson, let's write it down, 2.5. We got Cole at 3.5. We got Werenski at 2.5. I really do like Marchenko as well. He's in the bet tracker at +125 for 2.5 shots, and Johnny. So there's a lot that I like here in this hockey game. I would rank them Matheson, Werenski, Johnny Hockey, Cole Caulfield, and then Marchenko. But I like the power play point there and the point overall for Zach Werenski. I'm sure there's 25 comments here, so I'll try to circle through them before we move on to the next one. This is Hammerhead Union giving a lot of plays, and we love it. We're here for all the plays, dude, and you're pretty sharp, so we like that. Laine's on. Is Laine back? Isn't he on IR? Yeah, I mean, Laine is not going to score tonight. He's on injured reserve, unless I'm seeing something that he's back. I mean, that's why, unfortunately, Troy, we took the under on a season-long goal. Just can't stay healthy at the moment. I'm not sure if he's returning tonight. I haven't heard anything, but currently on the IR there. Stephanie Beal in the house, Senators money line. We did talk about that leaky defense at the moment for the Islanders. Matheson is good, man. He is he's a really, really good skater. I love the way that he moves the puck, and he can just go up and down the ice with ease, and that's what I really like. Stephanie's given some plays here. I like it. Oilers and Leafs over 6.5. Oilers money line, bet the draw. Okay, I'm gonna get back into the plays here. I'll recap. If you guys have any questions, I'll recap there, and we'll just continue to get going here. So let's move over to Colorado. I like the Avs tonight. I'm going to continue to hammer the Avs until I don't know. It's not even until I see them lose. I just like them overall as a squad. Georgiev is playing really good. I don't know if it's confirmed that we get Georgiev between the pipes here tonight. If it is, we feel a little bit better about that for sure. I think that at some point here, they're going to give him a night off, but I mean, he's 6-0 to start the season. He's got a .930 save percentage, a 1.98 goals against average. He's got a shutout already, 35-1 for him to win the Vezina. We may get that one, guys. And I just, they set an NHL record for consecutive wins on the road the other night. I think it was like their 14th road win. Let's see them maybe just continue to ride this one out. The Penguins, I'm just not feeling the vibes. I like the offense. I like the addition of Carlson. I like Riley Smith. Malkin's playing really good hockey. I just think Colorado's better. And if you watch Pittsburgh and Dallas the other night, Dallas went into Pitt, and I thought they were the better team, and they got strong goaltending and won that game as well. So this one should be a fun one. I am going to McKinnon. This is not breaking any news. It's kind of the same sort of deal as Pasternak. If you can get Nathan McKinnon, Pasta at under -140. I'm seeing Nate at -135 for over 4.5 shots. He leads the NHL in shot attempts and shots at 5 and 5 per 60. He's a true psycho, man. It should be fun tonight. We got the Cole Harbor boys, Nathan McKinnon and Sidney Crosby going at it tonight. It's always a good time when those guys are playing. But we got 4 goals for Nathan McKinnon here to start the season. The shots 4, 14, 3, 6, 4, and 8. He had 8 shots the other night against the Islanders. Again, we'll pick on them in just a little bit. I also want to give a little bit of love to Mikko Rantanen. And just for the points, a shy away from the over on the shots for Mikko Rantanen. Even though he has been shooting, he's got 15 in his last 3 games. But how about the points, man? He's got 3 multi-point games on the season. He's got 5 goals and 7 assists already through 6 contests, 4 points in his last game, and he's on a point streak here. He's got 6, 7, 8 points and 3 goals over that span. So I like the over 1.5 points for Mikko. It's one of my favorite long shots here today at +170 for 2 points. And that is over at DraftKings. And then we talked about Ryan Johansson. That was brought up. Johansson, not actually seeing him in the prop shop at the moment. Give a little bit of a refresher. Ryan Rojo. And I just wanted to see what the power play point prop, what would that be for him? It should be pretty decent. +210 over at BetMGM. He's +100 for a point. I mean, I definitely like that call out there, Adam. +100 for the point, but I think maybe a little bit of a sprinkle here on the +210. The power play is so lethal, right? I mean, it's just so good. And he touches the puck. He's kind of playing that bumper role, and they kind of go through him a little bit. Kale McCarr, of course, and the shooter is McKinnon, but Ryan Johansson for the point at +100, and maybe for the assist at +220. Like, those are pretty good odds. Book's not really adjusting so far on Ryan Johansson, who's got goals in 3 straight games. And, he's got 4 power play points over his last 3 games. In fact, 4 of the 5 points he have come on the power play. And he's shooting a little bit as well. I mean, I don't want to drink the juice on the over 1.5 at -182. But he does have at least 2 shots in 3 straight games and 4 of his 6. So this is a change of pace for Ryan Johansson. Troy knows Blue Jacket. This guy's a 30-goal scorer, and first year in Nashville, I think he was shooting as well, and he was just passing it off. So he's been shooting. One other Av that I will toss out here to you guys is Arturi Lehkonen. Arturi Lehkonen is a sneaky good player. He has a shot prop tonight that I do believe is worth your time if you're looking for somebody at 2.5. And again, we'll recap at the end with our favorites. We tend to roll through just every game and talk about some things that we like and things we don't like. And then we recap towards the end. But Lehkonen at DraftKings at -120 for over 2.5 shots. He's got 25 shots on goal in the 6 games, and he's cleared 2.5 in every game but one. 3, 8, 3, 6, 2, and 3. He played a season high 20 minutes and 26 seconds in the last game, and he's got 6 points in his last 4 hockey games. So Lehkonen, the one thing about Lehkonen, right, is smart player. Both ends, gets the power play time that he didn't get in Montreal with Colorado. Believe it or not, he gets to Colorado. And even though he's playing with McKinnon, who's a shoot first guy, I don't mind taking the stab on that. Not really feeling any pens here tonight. I don't know. Yeah, Lehkonen FanDuel -110. That's a good one. We can get that one. We love it. Ryan Johansson for the point at DraftKings -105 and 210 for the power play point. Yeah, I see. Again, I see +100 for Ryan Johansson. I believe that one was at BetMGM. Yeah, so DK's got the -105 and BetMGM has the +100, and the power play point I see at +210 as well. I think DK's slightly better when it comes to power play points. I think that Bet Rivers is the best for shot props, and I do believe that FanDuel is the best for goals. These are things that I've kind of just noticed over the past little bit. Yeah, here we go. So, I mean, you guys are super sharp. You guys got all the plays here. Makar is in just a whole nother world, man. He may be in the hard conversation too, at the end of the day, but I think, you know what I think? I think Jack Hughes is making a case for himself. That's for sure. Most points ever through 6 games, I think, from American-born player. He's got 17. He's riding. We did jump maybe a little bit too early. We had in the bet tracker a little bit of a sprinkle on him to win the Rocket and MVP, but we did jump in. We had in the betting article, but we did jump in, I think, at 9-1 when McDavid went down for the MVP, and I think like +675 for the points. I mean, he is so fun to watch at the moment. But McDavid will come back, and he'll push the pace. Let's continue the left side here. We'll go to Detroit, the Red Wings, and the Winnipeg Jets. I want to continue to ride out this Detroit team. I mean, tough loss from them last night or the night before. They gave up the lead. That was a fun game between them and Seattle. The Kraken finally getting a little bit of a puck luck heading their way, but they've had a lot of puck luck over the past couple of years. But Detroit's playing really good hockey, like really good hockey. They are 5-1-1 on the season. They've scored 34 goals. That's more than any team in the Eastern Conference and in the Western Conference. The Detroit Red Wings, they played 7 games, so they played more than some teams. They've allowed 20, but they're 5-1-1 coming off that loss. And I know that we're going to see a little bit of a regression from some of these guys in Detroit, like DeBrincat and maybe, Larkin. DeBrincat did miss the practice yesterday. It was just a flu. Not an injury, so we'll keep an eye. I think he's good to go. But how can you ignore this, right? These guys are streaky NHL players, and he's got 9 goals through 7 games. He's got 4 in his last couple. He's got 3 multi-goal games already on the season. I put him in the tracker in a parlay with. Let's see, who did I put him in here with? I mean, it doesn't really matter. It was Braden Point. So -150 is a little bit too steep for me, but I think we can have some fun with the assists at +135. We're talking about him scoring a lot of goals, but he does have 4 assists, and Dylan Larkin has 4 goals in the season. He's got 14 points quietly. He's got a point in every single game. He's got 4 straight games with the multi-point showing. So these guys, I mean, +210 for a power play for DeBrincat and Dylan Larkin as well. I mean, these guys are just playing really good hockey, and it's just hard to ignore at the moment. Other guys that I think could regress, like Kopp is off to a good start. Sprong is, he shoots the puck quite a bit. He probably headed for 20 goals or something like close to it. But the Dylan Larkin assists at -115. Those are the 2 I like. And then Kyle Connor. I think Kyle Connor scores tonight. That one's for EY for Kyle Connor. Lots of shots from Connor so far. He's inside the top 15 in shot attempts. Not all of them have hit the net. He's only got the 24 in the 6 games, but he does have 4 goals here. He scored in the last game. I'd shy away from the plus 124 shots tonight, but I do like him to find the back of the net at plus 135 over at FanDuel. I think the Red Wings win the hockey game here. We're going to continue to move on. Seattle and Carolina here. The Kraken, as we mentioned, picked up that win in their last game in Detroit, tied it late, won it in overtime late. Sebastian Aho did return in the Carolina Hurricanes last game. He was -1 over 21 minutes. He had 3 shots on goal. I don't like a whole lot from this game, to be honest with you. I mean, Carolina's given up a lot of offense. They've given up a lot of goals, and they're just not really getting the goaltending at the moment. They were shut out in their last game. Whether it's, Anderson who's hurt, it's Kochakov, it's Antti Ranta. I mean, so far this season, I haven't been impressed. They allowed 3 to the Sens in game 1. They allowed 6 to LA. They allowed 6 to Anaheim in a loss. They allowed 3 to the Sharks. They allowed the Kraken 7. At that point, they hadn't scored more than 1 goal in a game. They gave up 6 to the Avs, and then they lost 3-0 to Tampa Bay. So they've lost 3 straight, 4 or 5. It does sound like there's a real possibility that Andrei Svechnikov will make his season debut tonight. According to Rod Brendamore, the quote was, "When he gives us the green light, we'll definitely chuck him in there. We're counting the days, whether it's tomorrow or the next game. I think we're definitely right around the corner." And that was from yesterday when it comes to Andrei Svechnikov. So that would be a big boost to the squad. I think just because they're giving up so much offense, I would consider maybe a Jared McCann point at -105 for McCann. I think that's pretty good value there for Jared. I tend to go to Jared or Bjorkstrand when it comes to shots. He's -106 for 2.5 shots, but I'll stay away from the shot props in this game. Even if Svechnikov plays, and he's a guy that I really like, but first came back, I kind of want to feel this one out. But Jared McCann -105 and then plus 260 for the assist. I think that we will see the Carolina Hurricanes win the game. Again, a lot of comments here. I don't know if there's any questions or just guys giving plays, and I like it. Stephanie's got some plays: Wings money line and over 5.5. I can get behind that one. I really like Husso as a goalie, but one thing I failed to mention when it came to the Jets is Alex Iafallo. Alex Iafallo kind of needs to be on our radar. I don't know for shots, but like for points, right? Because we've seen the boost in ice time over the past couple with Velarde's sideline. He's taken that top spot. So 19 minutes, 17 minutes in the last couple games. I mean, he's got 3 goals on the season. He is shooting a little bit, 4, 2, and 7 over the last couple. He's plus 130 for 3 shots tonight. I'm not bad. I like the point. I got to jump in on this point. I like this one more than McCann. I follow plus 100 for a point, and he is plus 230 for an assist, and he's plus 130 for 3 shots. That's not bad. I don't know if I love the shot one, but man, this guy's getting an opportunity, right? It's part of the reason why I like Gabriel Velarde as much as I did. Like just getting an opportunity. Yeah, there we go. Burncut is apparently sick and could miss. Might be value on comfort. Yeah, keep an eye on that situation. JT moves up the lineup. We could maybe get a little bit of value there. Seth Jarvis, the crew seems to be on Seth Jarvis. Seth Jarvis goals, Seth Jarvis shots, Seth Jarvis over 2.5 plus money. I mean, yeah, he's been really good to start the season. In fact, I think he's a top 15 skater in fantasy hockey leagues that account for shots and power play points and things like that. I mean, he's got the 7 points on the season. Yeah, I can get behind it. I just don't these Hurricanes, man. I don't like to put any. I don't like to play them. I don't know. Like Aho is just so inconsistent. I like Natchez he's probably the guy that I play the most in Carolina. But the fact that it is Seattle and both teams have kind of really struggled. This one could be, when I look at it, my gut instinct is like low. Like I don't think there'll be a lot of goals. I think 3-2, but the way that these teams are playing, I could see it. It could be a fun hockey game. Like there could be a lot of offense. I'll let you guys take the Seth Jarvis, but for him to get a point at -130, do we have anything yet on? Am I just talking out of my behind here in Svechnikov? The Carolina goalies are bad, man. They're just not playing really good hockey at the moment, and I think that they're they're better than what they're showing. Definitely. So they got Sveshnikov penciled in on the fourth line. Of course, like he'll be limited tonight, but at the end of the day, he's going to be inside that top six. I think Bunting's probably the odd man out, like Aho, Teravainen, and Natchez. They can go Bunting, Sveshnikov, and Kotkaniemi in there in that top six. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, I don't mind the Seth Jarvis call, guys. I like Natchez. I think that's the guy that, for me at minus 118, 2.5 shots, plus 125 for the assist. I just don't have a lot of feels for this game. And you know what? Sometimes you just have to cross some out when there's 11 on the slate. Let's continue. San Jose and Tampa. The Sharks, as we've just been talking about them, and unfortunately in a bad way. I like Kucherov. He's leading the article over at FTNBets.com over 3.5 shots. I tend to shy away from Kucherov as well. I view him as a playmaker, a pass first guy. I watch the Lightning power plays, and there's so many times where he has an opportunity to shoot the puck and he dishes it off to Stamkos far side or point in the bumper there in the slot, or Hedman. But I mean, I like a lot of these Lightning players here tonight. The Sharks. Only the Islanders have allowed more scoring chances at 5-5 per 60 than San Jose this season, and no team has surrendered more high danger chances. And they have a league high 3.29 expected goals against rate. And on top of all that, they've coughed up the third most shot attempts and the third most shots at 5-5 per 60. So we got Kucherov here. He has been shooting a little bit more to start the season. He's got 6 goals, 10 points already, 28 shots on goal. And he's only played 7 games here. So he is inside the top 10. He's got the 37 shot attempts, which is tied for the 7th most. And it's T3 among forwards as well. Only McKinnon, and I believe he is tied with Jack Hughes in terms of shot attempts at 5-5 per 60. So we are rolling with Kucherov at minus 110 at BetMGM over 3.5 shots. That one I'll write down here because it will be in my top 10. Top 5, really. Braden Point is juiced at minus 145 for 3 shots, but I think he's going to get it. George's guy. It's just the matchup, right? I mean, he was really pressing for a goal the other night, and he scored one. That's what Ovechkin too, pressing for a goal. These snipers, right? They're not used to going 3 or 4 games without a goal, especially early on in the season. They want to get it, but it's the matchup too, right? The matchup is just so nice. But so Point at over 2.5 minus 145. Maybe that's one you want to put into a parlay, a same game parlay here with the Lightning. I'm going to do one. Maybe we can rock one at the end here, but I'll have one in the tracker. And Victor Hedman over 2.5 shots at plus 100 at BetMGM. Victor Hedman for a point at minus 135 at DraftKings. I consider the assist because for the most part, when Hedman hits the score sheet, it is via an assist. But, I think he could score tonight just because that team is just so brutal and they may get a couple power plays and he could shoot the puck. So the assist is plus 105. The point is minus 135. And I got Victor Hedman for a power play point. He's back on that top unit at plus 280 for a draft over at DraftKings for a power play point. And then this is another long shot and one that I actually like quite a bit. Braden Point for 2 points tonight at plus 175 over at DraftKings. I think the Lightning win. I think the Lightning probably win on the puck line. I didn't put that one in the tracker or anything, but I think Tampa Bay wins the game in 60 puck line. Here we go. I mean, you were close with San Jose on the puck line. Yeah, I think you got burned. The 1.5. It went our way, not your way, but it was a good call by you. It just 1 second left, the empty net goal there. But yeah, I'd say. Oh, another shutout. I think somebody asked me about him yesterday on Twitter and I didn't respond. I got to get to that. That reminds me. He's a short-term play. Johansson is a goalie. I mean, Vasilevskiy is going to come back. I mean, in fact, I would sell him where I could. Okay, we like Point. Everybody likes Point. Point. All right, Braden Point. What could go wrong, George? What could go wrong for Braden Point? Where do we begin? But a lot I like from that game. Lightning puck line. What do we got? Kucherov 3.5 shots, over 3.5 shots. Braden Point over 2.5 shots. Braden Point 2.9. Victor Hedman over 2.5 shots. Victor Hedman point. Victor Hedman power play point. So there's a lot there. They'll be pretty chalky in DFS. You may want to think about like getting maybe potentially Paul or Cirelli in your life. If you're playing in tournaments, just kind of think outside the box just a touch. And away you go. Stamkos goal tonight is what Hammerhead is calling there. Let's continue to move on. I think the Flyers may be dogs as well. I talked about Anaheim as a potential dog, maybe keeping things close, but let's be honest about their squad. It's just the fact that the Bruins haven't played anybody good and that they're coming off that lengthy road trip. They could potentially be a little flat. But the Philadelphia Flyers are playing really good hockey. Tortorella has them playing good. My guy Carter Hart, who we drafted by accident in a high stakes league, is actually playing pretty good as well. They hung around with the Golden Knights the other night. They had the lead. Vegas came back, tied it late in the third, and then a Shea Theodore goal to cap off a 9-for-9. We don't need to pat ourselves in the back anymore, right? But we had a pretty decent day the other night. We went 9-for-9 when it came to points, and we got lucky. Like I said, we had lucky, and Shea Theodore had one late. But this Flyers team is impressing me. I get it. Everybody's a little bit upset about the Phillies. Maybe it was just something special going on in the air in Philadelphia with the Phillies and got the boys playing. The Eagles are playing well, but I like Philadelphia here as a potential dog on home ice. You see plus 104. Let's see the best possible number that we can get tonight is plus 105 over at Bet365. I've said it a few times. I really like Cam Atkinson. I like that Sean Couturier is back. Owen Tippett. That trio, I think, is playing pretty good hockey. So I'm just going to continue to ride them out. Cam Atkinson at DK. This number has moved a little bit. So people are jumping in on the Cam Atkinson trade or trend here. 2.5 shots for Cam Atkinson, minus 115 at DraftKings. He's plus 230 for an assist. I like the point. Maybe we can just go with the point. We had I think it was like plus 480 at Bet365 for Tippett, Couturier, and Cam Atkinson to hit the score sheet. Tippett and Cam did, but Couturier did not. I think that's one to consider as well as a same game parlay for the Bet365 users. This trio to hit the score sheet tonight. But Cam Atkinson, oh my goodness, you're gonna make. I did not do this. That was George. You're gonna make me as like a cocky asshole. And everybody is like pumping my tires at work. I'm going 0 for 13 tonight. It is what it is. You take the highs and you take the lows. Anytime we like pump our tires or George makes me a special graphic like that, proceed with caution, guys. Just fade me all night long. But Cam Atkinson over 2.5 shots here tonight at minus 115, plus 105 for the point, plus 230 for the assist. I think that's pretty good stuff there. And on the other side, Hartman. He's coming off the hat trick, right? Which is easy to say, Ryan Hartman, but he's getting an opportunity, right? The Wild are kind of depleted up front. So he's getting an opportunity with the big boys. I mean, he was playing with the big boys anyways, but the fact that there's no Boldy, gives him a touch of a little bit more ice time. Still not on that first unit. They got Marcus Johansson on that first unit. But Ryan Hartman in the middle of the ice at plus 105 for 2.5 shots tonight. Hit the score sheet. Ryan Hartman at minus 105, and the assist is plus 220. I mean, he only has 15 shots, but he does have at least 4 shots in 3 of his past 5 games. If you're looking for a more consistent Wild, it would be Kaprizov. He's a lot like Nikita Kucherov to me. I like to see this guy shoot the puck a little bit more because he has such an awesome shot. But he tends to pass it off. I mean, he's got 7 helpers on the season and just the 2 goals, but he does have at least 3 shots in 4 straight games, but his shot prop is at minus 125 for 4. So it's a little bit risky there, but plus 115 for the assist for Kaprizov is a pretty good price there. I think the Flyers win the game. 14 comments. What do we got? We got a lot of plays from Hammerhead. Keep them coming, man. Keep them coming. I love it. It's hard to keep up, but you're a true psycho like us, and we really do like that. Okay, we got a fantasy hockey question here from Troy. No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry, dude. Don't take it the wrong way. I love it, man. Keep it coming. You give good plays, man. Don't take that the wrong way. I'm all about it. I just try to filter through some of the comments. I love it, man. Okay, who would you drop out of these 3? Okay, you got 4. You got another one here that you're adding. Who would you drop out of these 4 players? Klingberg, Raquel, Mintyukov. No, you don't have problems. I would probably drop. I'd probably drop Minty or Klingberg. Klingberg is, I don't even like to play him in DFS because he doesn't touch any other categories for you. Like, he doesn't shoot. He's got 5 shots. He's not going to hit. You're not going to block a lot of shots because the Leafs don't give up a whole lot. And he's not going to score. The only thing I think with him, I mean, he's got the 5 points, 2 on the power play. I mean, he's not even a top 270 skater in Yahoo leagues at the moment. So I think the only thing with him is just the power play time. But like for Mincy, I don't know what he really offers you either. He's got 3 points, 10 shots, bangers league stuff there. I would drop him. I'd be patient with Hayton. I still like Barrett Hayton, guys. He's playing. He continues to play on that top line with Keller and Schmaltz. Keller and Schmaltz are cooking. These guys have been great. Hayton's had a lot of opportunities. I still like him, and I don't think he'll lose that spot. Logan Cooley could, the future center on that squad. It could happen. But I really like just maybe being patient with Hayton if you can. Yeah, in a bangers league, I figured it was because of a bangers league. And that's why I probably I get it. It probably feels wrong. But what I will say about Morgan Riley, it wasn't even a top 25 defenseman last year in fantasy hockey, and he had a good season. It's just when they're not touching a lot of these other categories, they're not going to be a whole lot for you. So Klingberg is just a guy that's going to get you assists and power play points. So I would look at the rest of your team, see where you balance out. If it's a bangers league, maybe you need a little bit more grit on your squad. You can sub him out for a defenseman, but it's one of the two defensemen. I would keep Raquel in a bangers league. He's good too. He shoots, he hits. He'll come around. It's been Malkin and it's been Riley Smith, but he'll come around. Do we like Barzal? Okay. Do we feel like Barzal is finally going to come through soon, or should I bench drop him for another? The options, Anthony here in the house. Barzal too, this is another case of just a better real life player than a fantasy hockey player. He's always been on my bust list. I don't have any shares of Barzal. I think he's a really good real life player, but it's just another guy that just doesn't shoot the puck, doesn't hit. And these players that don't shoot, if they're not contributing on the score sheet, they're not doing anything for you. There's other players like Raquel. If he's not hitting the score sheet, at least he's getting some shots and he's getting some hits. But for Barzal, I don't know if I drop him for those two guys. I think I would maybe stay patient. Nick Paul's off to a good start, but ultimately the ceiling is higher for Barzal. And Jesperi Kotkaniemi is playing really good hockey. So I would consider that one. Maybe the breakout is happening for the young buck here. Svechnikov coming back. The top six is fine in Carolina. I don't mind their top six, right? Kotkaniemi's either going to play with Svechnikov or Natchez or Seth Jarvis or Bunting. So I would maybe, I don't even know what Barzal is doing off the top of my head. I'd have to take a look, but I would imagine not much. He's got a goal and 4 points. Okay, it's fine. Maybe just hang tight for now. I don't think anybody's rushing Anthony to the waiver wire to grab those two players. Maybe hang tight for now. In a matchup tonight against the Sens, is 11 games on the ice. I could consider benching him tonight and not playing him, but he is entering tonight in a 4-game point streak, and that is a positive. And he's actually shooting a little bit more than I'm surprised, like 5-2, 6-4, and 3. So he's shooting a touch more. Maybe just be a little bit patient there for now, Anthony. And maybe if he goes on a run, you consider selling high. So yeah, that's what I noticed as well. He is shooting the puck a little bit more than I thought ultimately. Dustin's got a question here. Should I make an aggressive offer for Luke Hughes in a dynasty league, get him before he breaks out? Yeah, I mean, I'd try to. Yeah, dynasty league. I mean, good luck. I mean, he's going to be a real nice player in the league. You're already seeing it on that first pirate play with his brother. Hamilton will eventually, you're thinking long term, Hamilton will start to cool off, and it'll be Luke Hughes who, even though he's on that first power play, will take a majority of the PP ice time. But yeah, I don't know off the top of my head what sort of move, but I would do it. Yeah, I would do what I could. Again, he's not going to be, I don't know. Like, I don't know if he's going to be a Hamilton as like a Hamilton a couple years ago with like 3, 4, 5 shots on net, throws his body around. I don't know if Luke Hughes is going to be that type of player, but I could see him as like a 50, 60 point player for sure in the league, racking up a ton of assists and scoring probably double-digit goals. He looks like a real nice player. I mean, Paul's off to a really good start. I'm not a huge, I like the player. I'm just not a huge believer. Jazz in the house. Are you feeling the Habs tonight? I was feeling the Habs tonight until I found out that Montembeault is starting. I would really like Jake Allen to be between the pipes tonight. So I give them I lean with Montreal, but I don't like them as much with that with Mutombo between the pipes. But I do have a slight lean to them. I did tell Troy earlier that with Mutombo and net that the Blue Jackets would win the game. Speaking of Hughes, any thoughts on Quinn for Norris? Yeah, playing really good, right? I don't know what the odds are for him. I mean, he was second in points last season. He was tied. Or he was Carlson who blew everybody away. I don't know what the odds for him to win the Norris. 11-1 is not bad. 11-1 is okay. It's gonna be tough to beat Cale Makar, right? And Makar didn't win it last year, so they might go back to him. It's gonna be tough, but I'd say 11-1 is pretty good. It's pretty good at the point. Not as much a long shot as my Carlson suggests. Man, Carlson, you were all over that, dude. You were all over that. I think 27-1. You may have even had a better number, but I think when we got it off you, it was 27-1. Okay, we want to. Do you have a strong goal scorer for tonight? Maybe 5 good. Okay, let me just finish up here with the last couple, and then we'll recap here. We'll just go through these last few pretty quickly. The Sens and the Islanders, as I mentioned here earlier, the Islanders, I think we had Stephanie jump into the chat earlier and talk about the Senators here tonight. You know what? I think the Sens need to figure this thing out, and they need to figure it out this year, or there's going to be some changes. I think DJ Smith is on the hot seat. Can we get odds for DJ Smith first coach fired? I wouldn't be shocked here. You know, the Sens, they've made so many moves here over the past little bit, and there's really just no excuse for them. And I just don't like the way they're playing hockey. Like, they got spanked by Detroit. They didn't play well against Buffalo. They beat Washington. Who cares? They beat the Flyers. But I think DJ's on the hot seat. I think the Sens need to figure this thing out. There's really no excuses for them. The top 6 is loaded. Norris is back in the lineup. You got nice young buck and Sanderson. You sign you make the trade for Chikrin and you sign him. And we haven't seen good goaltending yet from Korpisalo, but the big contract there. So we'll see. But anyways, I think I consider them as dogs here tonight to win the hockey game, but I'm just going to ride Josh Norris. We talked about him in the last show as well. We had the over on his shots. I think it was plus 125. We had him to score a goal and have a point, and he did score a goal. So he's got the 3 goals and 4 points in 3 games, a point in every single game. He's got 3 power play points over that span. He was -5 the other night, which is gross. But he did put 4 pucks on net. So he's got the 12 shots, at least 3 in every game here. And like I said earlier, I don't think we can view this Islanders team as the same team that we're used to seeing, is stingy, don't give up a whole lot. They're very strong in goal. Always something to be said about stacking against them because of what we're seeing in their 5-5 numbers, and people just don't want to stack against Sorokin. Saw that firsthand with the Avs and the 28-1 for them to lead the slate in goals on Tuesday. The Islanders have allowed the 4th most shot attempts and the 7th most shots at 5-5. They are number 1 in scoring chances allowed at 5-5 as well. So we got Norris at over 2.5 shots at plus 110. We have him for a point at -115. And, if we want to ride this thing out and see if he finds the back of the net, at plus 250 for him to score a goal. I got Stützle in a parlay at over 2.5. I like Brady Tkachuk at 3. And I like Brock Nelson on the other side at 2.5. I've noticed Shabbat is shooting quite a bit. Continues to still play a lot of ice, get a lot of ice time. He's plus 135 for 3 shots tonight. And Sanderson's a guy that we had in the tracker for an apple tonight. I don't want to get too crazy here against Sorokin, but I think the attempts should be there for Ottawa. Plus 165 for an assist for Jake Sanderson, plus 115 for the point, and 3-1 over at Bet365 for the power play point. He is up on that top line. But like I said, up on that top power play. But as I mentioned, Shabbat, I'd like the Chikrin addition. I felt like it could just ease off the minutes for Shabbat so we can play harder minutes. But he's had 3 shots in 3 straight games and 4 of his 5 if you're looking for a long shot here. Toronto and Dallas, I like the Stars on home ice here tonight. It should be a fun one. I think that the Leafs are going back to Samsonov between the pipes. Yeah, he just hasn't been good so far to start the season. They could ride the kid Wall out if they want. He was pretty darn good against the Capitals, and he was really good filling in for Samsonov the other night against Tampa Bay. If it is Wall, and I'm not dropping Samsonov, by the way. I've seen his ownership drop 10%. He's 86% in Yahoo. I'd view him as a buy low candidate. Even if Wall is just awesome, it'll be a 50-50 thing. He won't completely overtake, and the Leafs are going to win a lot of games. So hopefully you just picked up Wall and you just roll through these two guys, because the Leafs will rattle off like 40-45 wins, and you can just play whichever guy is playing. But we'll keep an eye on the I don't think we have anything concrete here when it comes to goalies. Just let me take a double check, because it may change my tune just a touch, but ultimately I'm in here on Dallas. So it sounds like maybe it will be Joseph Woll again. You're going to ride the kid. But I do like the Stars. I like the under. I actually don't think we'll see a lot of goals here, even though these two offenses are hot fire. And I just like the Stars at home. I always like the Stars at home. Rupe Hintz, Joe Pavelski, Jason Robertson, all three of those guys to get a point for the Bet365 users. That one turned out pretty well for us the other night at plus money. And then our guy Rupe Hintz at over 2.5 shots at minus 106 at Bet Rivers for Mr. Rupe Hintz, who has played 4 games. He's got a point in all 4 games, and he has at least 2 shots in every one, but at least 3 in 3 straight. And that first game, maybe we can give him a little bit of a pass because he didn't play too much in the preseason. I like Dallas. I like the Rangers here tonight. I saw some Oilers comments here. I know that the Oilers are, they're in a tough spot. They haven't been playing good hockey. Maybe there's a little bit of desperation in their game. No McDavid, but they just can't keep the puck out of their net, guys. They have 1 win. It came against Nashville. They have 5 losses. They've allowed 8 goals, 4, 3, and 7 to Minnesota in their last game. I like the Rangers on the road. I think that they played pretty good against Calgary the other night. I heard the Rangers broadcast talk about how they're going to ease off Shesterkin a little bit this year and play a little bit more quick, but we've seen Shesterkin play every single game but one. There's no back-to-back here. The Rangers are in Vancouver on Saturday, so they could roll out Shesterkin. If it is Shesterkin, I will be leaning to the Rangers here. I think Mika Zibanejad finds the back of the net. I like Artemi Panarin for over 2.5 shots here tonight. He's minus 112 over at Bet Rivers. And on the Oilers side of things, I still like Bouchard, even though there's no McDavid on that power play. But Bouchard has been shooting, and he's still picking up points. He had 3 points the other night, one on the power play without McDavid. He's plus 125 for 3 shots tonight. He's had 5, 1, 1, 7, and 3. So he's cleared this one in 4 of 6, and he's getting a lot of ice time. And because there's no McDavid, there's, maybe an opportunity for him to shoot the puck just a little bit more. So plus 125 for Bouchard at 2.5. And then that Calgary and Edmonton game that's Sunday. That's the Heritage game that's on the board there. That should be a good one. One of those teams has to win a hockey game. And you know what? I think if we're looking for another dog here tonight, it may be the Blues. The St. Louis Blues against the Calgary Flames. I don't really like the Blues, but I'm not really feeling the Flames either. So why not? Let's just take a dog and try to get it. What do we got here? Oh, these odds have changed. I wish I would have jumped in earlier. What'd that board say? Plus 176? Oh, plus 158. I thought it was worse than that. Okay, plus 1. It was higher than that. Plus 160 at Bet365. I'm not really feeling a whole lot on either side here. I'd say like Mikael Backlund probably gets his shots, but he's juiced, and I would go to Kyrou. And maybe we see a Kyrou goal here tonight, but I maybe a Blues potential upset. Okay. Comments, questions, concerns. What do we got? Oh, you're going to the Islanders game the other day made it so clear and obvious that they lack foot speed and that they have a dump and chase addiction. Barzal is the only guy who enters his zone with the puck. Yeah, they're old. They're old. We talked about them being old. They didn't make any additions. No additions in the offseason. I think that they're heading down a bad path. Yeah, they're not making the playoffs this year. I would bet any amount of money. I don't think that they'll make the playoffs either. I don't think Sorokin is clearly the heartbeat and the backbone of the team, and he's good enough to get them there. But I don't know, man. I'm not really feeling the vibes there in Long Island, and the way that Detroit is playing, and if Boston and Tampa find a way to make the playoffs, there's just not a lot of spots for anybody else to jump in. And I think Pittsburgh finds a way to squeeze in. Okay, let's recap here. We'll start with the sides. I like Colorado on the money line. I like the Rangers on the money line. Excuse me. I like Tampa Bay on the puck line. at -105, Tampa in 60, one of those two. If you're looking for a dog here tonight, I think Philadelphia on home ice as a dog, and I think St. Louis as a dog. But my card is really for sides. It's really just 3 or 4. It's the Avs here on the money line. It's the Rangers on the money line. It's the Lightning on the puck line or in 60, and then it's Detroit on home ice. I like the way that the Wings are playing hockey right now, and the over. They're just playing in a lot of high up tempo games. There's been a lot of goals in their games, so I'm gonna just follow a trend here and pick the Red Wings, who are off to a really good start, and they're scoring a lot of goals. But Dallas is a team that I like. The Flyers and the Blues as dogs, and I'm just kind of staying clear of everything else. I think that there's just this feeling that I have that the Bruins game, it's an absolute trap. You want some goal scorers? I'll give you 5 goal scorers here tonight. Let me find the article that I had. The article is free. I'll have a link inside the description of this video. These are the goal scorers that I gave: David Pastrnak, Braden Point, Cole Caulfield, Nathan McKinnon, Alex DeBrincat, Kyle Connor, Cam Atkinson, Kirill Kaprizov, Rope Hintz, Josh Norris, Brock Nelson, William Nylander, Mika Zibanejad. It kind of felt like Eric there. If I want to just limit it to 5, I would go with Pasta, Braden Point, Cole Caulfield, Nathan McKinnon, and let's go with Cam Atkinson. But oh, that's a good one. Is that Cam Atkinson himself? Is that Pasta with the glasses? I love it. Yeah, it's Pasta with the glasses. It looks like Pasta there. But I'm going to Tampa for some goals. And not breaking news here, but Tampa, the Bruins, McKinnon with all those shots that he has. I like DeBrincat. We'll keep an eye on him with the status of the flu. There's just something about Cam Atkinson that I've really liked, and Cole Caulfield. I think there should be a Blue Jacket in there because against Montembeault. Marchenko is a good one, and I just have this feeling that Johnny Hockey's going to break out tonight. Johnny Gaudreau is going to break out. Okay. Shots. It'll be easy for me to bring up the board, and I'll just rapid fire through my favorite shot props tonight. So I got Nikita Kucherov at over 3.5 shots. I got Braden Point at over 2.5 shots. I got Victor Hedman at over 2.5 shots. I also have Point for 2 points at +175. I got Hedman for a point and Hedman for a power play point. There's a lot there, but I think that the attempts should be there for the Lightning against this Shark squad. Michael Matheson over 2.5 shots at -130. I like Zach Werenski at over 2.5 shots. A little bit of juice there at -150. I got him into a parlay in the bet tracker. I like Johnny Hockey at over 2.5 shots. Also a little bit of juice there. Don't mind the 3.5 at plus money. I like Werenski for a point. I like Werenski for a power play point at +280. And I like Cole Caulfield to score a goal and over 3.5 shots. Josh Norris riding this one out at over 2.5 shots, +110 over at BetMGM. Pasta and McKinnon, both of those guys at 4.5. I don't mind them though. Arturi Lehkonen shout out for the Colorado Avalanche at over 2.5 shots. And I'm not gonna pick a pen. I think Malkin has showed me the most for Pittsburgh, and Gensel's come down to 2.5, but a lot of juice there on those two guys. But Arturi Lehkonen and Ryan Johansson to pick up a point as well, and it could come via the power play. DeBrincat at over 2.5, a little bit of juice there. The point parlay with DeBrincat and with Dylan Larkin just can't be ignored at the moment. In Carolina and Seattle, I'm staying clear, but I do think that there's some good value on McCann for a point at -105. Oh, yeah, and Alex Iafallo, for the Winnipeg Jets. Iafallo for a point is +100, +230 for the assist, and a little bit of a sprinkle on the 3 shots at +130. I think that's pretty good odds for a guy that books just haven't adjusted for the uptick that is his usage rate. There's a little bit of an uptick there for him with the injury to Gabe Velarde and all the Jets that they moved on from in the offseason. Marchenko and Johnny Hockey there on the Columbus Blue Jackets side of things. I think I already got to that. I'm repeating myself now. Minnesota and Philadelphia, Cam Atkinson there at over 2.5 shots. Kaprizov and Hartman on the other side. I like Cam Atkinson to pick up a point here, and I consider that line tonight. Cam Atkinson and Sean Couturier and Owen Tippett at 365. To pick up a point. The Senators, I mentioned Josh Norris. On the other side, it's Brock Nelson. Brock Nelson showed me the most this season. He's shooting the puck. I like the over 2.5 on Brock. And I got Brady Tkachuk as a single, and I got Tim Stützle in there into a parlay. Jake Sanderson is interesting for an assist. I like the Stars on home ice tonight. Rupe Hintz. Matthews is fine. It is a bit of a tougher matchup, but William Nylander to score. He's just been playing really good hockey dating back to last season. Contract year too, right? Those are, I believe in those things. I especially in hockey where you can overtake a game kind of yourself when you're on the ice. Anyways, it's a conversation for another day. I know EY believes in a little bit more than me. Nylander is going to get paid regardless, and I do believe it will be from the Leafs. But I like Rupe Hintz. He's my guy, and I'll do a Hintz, Robertson, and Pavelski point parlay here. I think Mika Zibanejad scores for the Rangers, and I also think that Artemi Panarin has 3 shots. Adam Fox probably picks up an apple, an assist. Chris Kreider will probably be in on the action with Mika Zibanejad as well. It's just the Oilers have not showed me anything. Defensively, they can't keep the puck out of their net. They're without McDavid. They're really reeling at the moment, and I think that there could be some changes. I don't know about in the front office, but maybe behind the bench if they continue to struggle. And you can't just give them a pass because McDavid's on the sideline. But I do like the Rangers here, and I like Evan Bouchard on the other side, the over 2.5 shots. And I don't really have much on the Blues and the Flames game. I just both of those teams just have not impressed me one little bit here. But I think St. Louis can pull off the victory. You know, if looking for a goal, it could be like Kyrou. Kyrou could be the one that finds the back of the net there tonight for St. Louis. And I think that's it. I think we're out of here. Seen some people bounce. They got all the picks. Sorokin saves is a good one. Did I see that one from you? Oh, you saw Jari saves. Yeah, Jari saves is with just the amount of rubber that Colorado puts on. My one fear when I pick saves against the Avs is that they score 4 or 5 in the first period and that the goalie's pulled. But what do we get? Is it Blackwood between the pipes? Like that's a trend that I think we're perfect doing Blackwood saves. Over 29.5 at -110 for Blackwood. I like that one. But that's also another fear that Tampa scores 4 in the first period and Blackwood is yanked, and that's it. Okay, guys, we've gone long enough. We're out of here. Appreciate you guys. It's been always a pleasure. You guys are all super sharp. Let's hopefully continue this trend here, and we'll hopefully have some more winners for you guys. I do believe Eric is going to join us next week. We'll go over that Dangle Bet Celly draft that we had, and we'll talk about the league a little bit. We'll talk about some waiver wire things, and if you are looking for some fantasy hockey advice, we'll have the free article over at ftnfantasy.com this weekend, diving into what will be week 4 of the fantasy hockey season. Have a good one, guys. Let the winners be yours. Check out that free article over at ftnbets.com. Looking for a sub? Use promo code Meaney. Save yourself a little bit of cash. Enjoy the hockey, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Cheers.